Welcome back, Matthew. It has been some time now since we have done Grove podcast. Seems we are officially back after suspension, I guess. However, we are back, so let's get right to it. How are you feeling about the podcast being back on air?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, sure. Let's get right to it. Let's jump right to the question, right? Am I happy for the Grove podcast? Look. Here is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that here in this freaking crappy state of Tennessee, and it's so fabulous down here, right? No. 19, 20 degrees, whatever, sitting outside doing a podcast show seems entertaining, right? Right? No. It's really not, but it's okay.
Well, it has been such a long time, and social media is buzzing all about this and, well, of course, about the Super Bowl. And among many other things, we are talking about BCW's pay-per-view event takeover, where you seemed like you were making your return. However, a group of men attacked Chris Danger shortly after your brief message.
Yeah, after my brief message, let's talk about first thing, social media buzzing. Yeah, the only thing that's gonna buzz on social media, and here's a trend for Twitter, by the way, hashtag Grove Podcast returns. Here's a trend for Facebook, hashtag Let Him In. Those are some remarkable things. Now, sure, social media can buzz about this podcast all they want, and everybody can tune in and say what they want. Ask any question. Because my life has changed ever since November 10, 2019, and this is why I love the podcast, because I can mention and say whatever I want. So it's now time. What makes 2020 different from 2019? And what the hell is going to make 2021 different from all them other damn years? You know what? Doing a podcast show and stealing the show. That's what, Dave. I don't know what to say about Revolution and them gang of guys that attacked Chris. Whatever. He had a great event at TakeOver. And he done better than Tom Brady at the Super Bowl. But you know what? Let's not talk about the Super Bowl. Let's turn our focus to BCW TakeOver. Because Chris runs his mouth a little too much about me. Chris took it to social media weeks ago, asking me to do a wrestling thing all over again. Asking me to do a match. And you know what he gets for calling me out? He gets me on a big ass fucking screen. He gets me talking whatever I want to talk to him. And he gets his ass jumped by 7 guys. Now come on. I'm not familiar a whole lot. Now wrestling has been like my favorite sport, just like football, but here's a new sport. Anything that resolves the octagon ring like UFC. And let me tell you something, buddy. If you can get your ass jumped by 7 guys, I am all 7-1. I don't care if there's 7 dudes wanting to attack me. Let them all come at me, because guess what? I got a way to take them all out. And Chris, you never found it out. That's why you got your butt jumped, dude. That's why you got jumped. It's okay. You're a coward. And we are not going to have any type of fight. Unless you sign a damn contract, you ain't get me, buddy. Dave, I don't know what else you got to say. What else you got on your mind?
Revolution, well, that's certainly going to change the game there. So most people are wondering, how is life outside of the podcast and social media? How is that part of life going for you?
The life outside of social media, the life outside of the podcast. How about it being me being a grown-ass man raising my daughter? Mayla Leanne Grove, love you to death. You're sleeping right about now. Or should be. But Daddy has to do a podcast show, and Daddy's going to talk about you. And Daddy's going to talk about your mama too. But they're all going to be simple, good things, and I hope they touch the heart. Mayla, Ever since day one that your mama told me she was pregnant with you. And that was a little bit after she met Daddy in Nashville. I threw nothing but excitement. And July 29th of 2020 at 2:49 p.m., Chattanooga, Tennessee, East Ridge Park Hospital. Mela, your little butt was born. And nothing came out of my eyes but tears. And I had no other words to say. I was just about as speechless as I was when I first met your mom. And no words can express how excited I am to have this life, to have this podcast, to have everything with you guys. But what eats me up every day is I have built up frustrations I can never let out. Because there's no simple key to it. Nobody knows how to key it down. Nobody knows what life is like outside the podcast. Yes, it gets a little stressful. Life outside the podcast in 2020, we experienced the COVID-19. We never had that in 19. We never had that in 2019. No. What we had in 2019 was a good life going. No, in 2020, then this COVID hits and you're trapped in a small town and you're supposed to wear a mask. Chris, maybe by the way, that's probably why you got jumped by a bunch of dudes with masks. They were probably scared you had the COVID. So they attacked you with mask on. It's okay. This is the first episode I've ever had return to the podcast series, and I'm excited for it all. But here's the deal. In 2019, my life changed. In 2020, my daughter was born. In 2021, we don't know yet. This year ain't even predicted yet. I tell you right now, it's been hectic. Life outside this podcast, I've had my ups and downs with everything. And I'm going to break this as a breakdown. And this is an undecided decision yet, so don't let it leak into the news yet. I don't know yet what 2021's bringing to me. It's making my mind so chaotic that I'm tempted to just check myself in for a little while so I can get everything straight, get my mind straight, get everything right. Because really, here a bit late, since losing the podcast, since being offline for so long, since just having this, life that I realize is me being a man, it's really tore me up just a little bit. But it's okay. It ain't tore me up completely. I'm not just a torn page out of a chapter book. I am Matthew Allen fucking Grove. And this is the Grove Podcast, and I am always going to be the host of this show. And I got news for the editors. This is my show, my house, my everything. You take it from me, let's see how long you can band it. Because if you band it again, I got 2 words for you. Suck it, bitch. That's 3 words, sorry. I went a little overboard. But, Dave, life outside the podcast is me being a grown man and taking care of my daughter, man. And that's not too much more to ask for. And as you've seen on the kickoff show, we had a great visual presentation. Go to YouTube. Go to my channel, Matthew Grove. There's an amazing video of the podcast kickoff show. And there's going to be one of this one too. And in that video, there is a song called Adidas Way Drifting. There's a video with that explains and shows my life in and out of this podcast. So what more do we have here, Dave?
It's been officially 2021 now. How do you think 2021 will be turning out for you, Matthew?
I think 2021 might turn out to be great for me. 2021 brings a lot of secrets. 2021 brings a lot of things out. 2021 has been okay so far. But 2021 isn't over yet. The New Year's has just passed a month ago. And about this time a month ago, I wasn't even here in the state of Tennessee. I was in a great state called Mississippi, away from this place, in something new, where I could breathe and still feel like me. But it's okay. That's great enough. Dave, I know you had to close out, and I know you probably left by now because that was your final question. But if I have to close out this podcast by saying, if I ever went to Mississippi again, I might as well leave there rich. But that only happens in Kentucky. Thank you, Kentucky. I like you too. And I just got a question from a viewer, so I'm going to go ahead and go to it and answer it. He is asking, how is life with your daughter, and is it possible that you will make one last return and do one more match live? My daughter's doing great. February 29th, 2021, she will be 7 months years old. And that's 7 months and more that I've been around her in her life and her sisters. So that's a lot to say. And I'm not afraid to expose it here live, because I want everyone across the world to know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want you to know that Deandra Leanne Shell, Mayla Leanne Grove, and Evelyn Lee Pelfrey are the only 3 girls that matter in my entire life. The rest of y'all are just people. I look at y'all as just people and fans. That's it. Making it clear. Shutting it down. Hey. That's a good term. That's a great term. Shutting it down. Wow, I've never used that term since almost a year ago when I was doing this podcast. But hey, nonetheless, that's how life is going. So, has anybody else got any more questions? I bet they don't. Not after all that. So, we're closing this podcast out now on 13 minutes. Tune in tomorrow night and you'll see another Grove podcast. Maybe tonight y'all see a late night show. Late night with Matthew Grove. I ain't done yet with the podcast. Just keep the wheels a turning.